Okay, take down these notes. We are working with exponents and in particular the product rule. The product rule. And we know that the word product in math, this word product in math refers to multiplication. So it's like the multiplication rule, multiplication. So we have exponents, right? Again, if you need to pause it so that you can catch up on the writing, go ahead and make sure you do that. Pause it, catch up on the writing. And from the earlier video, we pretty much, it was explained and understood that if you have, here's the rule, right? Again, they use different bases and exponents. But the product rule, which is multiplication, if I have a to the power of n times, right? Because you can use a dot for multiplication. You can also use parentheses. If we have the same base, if the base is the same and the base is this number or this variable here, if the base is the same, what do you do to the exponents, right? This is a base. These are the base. The base is the same. This is the exponent. Well, just put it like that, exponents. Well, it says you don't multiply these. You keep it the same. And the exponents will be added. That's what the rule says. That's what's going on here. Okay, so a quick example number one, if I have x to the 5 times x to the 4, I know it says multiplication, but remember we want to keep the base, which is x, and you're going to add the 5 plus 4. The exponents you add. I know it says multiplication, but the rule is you actually add them. And we can actually add this, and you're going to get an answer, what? X to the power of 9, right? Because 5 plus 4 is 9. And the same thing if the base is a number like a 3. 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 5. I know this is 3 and 3, and I know you see 3 times 3, but you better not do 3 times 3 and put a 9. The base doesn't change. You keep the base the same, and the exponents, the 2 and the 5 is what you add. And can you add a 2 with a 5? Well, of course, and your answer is 3 to the power of 7, right? Because 2 plus 5 is 7. Okay. Now you're going to have the situation where you're multiplying monomials. Right, you're going to have numbers and variables. So look at number 3. Something like 4a6. And then sometimes for multiplication, they can also use parentheses like this, right? That means multiplication. 4a6 times 2a 4. Well, that's fine, a4. Okay, when you get to this point and you have whole numbers and then variables, the whole numbers, remember all this is multiplication. So we can really see this as 4 times a6 times 2 times a4, right? I mean, really 4a6 is really 4 times a6 times the 2a4 is really 2 times a4. But you're going to want to rewrite this. We're going to rewrite and group. When you rewrite this, what do I mean by rewrite and group? Or, you know, you're going to group or group like terms. Well, the numbers you're going to put first. So that's going to be the 4 times the 2. And then the variables are going to go together. The a times the a6 and the a4. right? And now here for 4 times 2, well, you just multiply whole numbers the way you know how to multiply whole numbers. That'll be 8. But what's going to be the product rule here? Here's where you got to do the product rule. When we have the same base, remember this applies for the exponents. I know it says product and I know it says multiplication, that's the operation. But we said and we understood that when it says multiply, you don't multiply these, you add the exponents. Okay, that's where it gets tricky. So I keep the A and you're going to add the what? 6 plus 4. So the answer for this one is 8 and A to the power of what? 10. Okay, so when you have problems like this, where there's numbers and whole numbers and variables, you want to rewrite this and group all the numbers and put those in front and then all the variables later. Let's do another one very similar to that, number 4. What if I have 5x 3 times, oh, I don't even need to put a times, but sometimes I'll put a times. I really didn't need to do that. Times negative 2x x squared also, like that. Okay, so remember the numbers are going to multiply with the numbers, so let me write those first. That's going to be 5, and I'm going to put these in parentheses. Remember, you can use parentheses or you can use the dot. Remember, the numbers multiply with numbers. They're called coefficients, these big numbers in front. They're coefficients. And then the variables, you're going to group those, and the ones that are the like terms or the like variables. And for multiplication, they don't have to have the same power. So it's x3 times x2. As long as they have the same base, you're fine, because we're going to keep the base. And remember, don't multiply the exponents. I know it says multiply, but don't. The rule is that you do what? If it has the same base, you add the exponents. Okay, so that's going to be 5 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 10. And what happens here with the x to the 3 times x to the 2? I know it says multiply, but remember the rule for exponents is that you don't multiply, you what? Add 3 plus 2. And the final answer here is negative 10x5. Okay, last one. What if you have, number 5, negative 3 a4b squared times a negative 2 a3b 7. You see, now you're just going to have maybe more numbers and more variables, but that's fine. Because remember, your first objective is just to group the ones that are the same. Numbers are first. So I'm going to do the negative 3 and the negative 2. And I'm going to rewrite it. Make sure you rewrite it. I want to see that. And which others are the same? Well, let's go in alphabetical order. The A's are the same. So that's going to be, and I'm not going to do the work. I'm just going to write them next to each other. A4 times A3. And then finally, which ones are left? The B's, right? So you're grouping the numbers together and you're going to multiply you're grouping the A's and we're going to multiply that. And then you're going to group any other variables that are the same. And in this case, it's the B2 and the B7. Okay. And then you just do each part individually. It shouldn't be too bad. Negative 3 times negative 2, that's a positive 6. What is the rule when you multiply and you have the same base? You don't multiply this. You better not put 12. You add those. And I know I'm just going an extra step here, but that's fine. And the same thing for this one, for the b variable. Don't multiply 2 times 7. I know it says multiply, but the rule, the product rule, is to add those. So the final answer here is 6, A7, right? 4 plus 3 is 7, and B what? 2 plus 7, 9. All right, there you go. Thank you so much. Good luck. It's not that bad.